You had a run-in with someone fronting on your Prius
recently,
didn't you, Kurt?
Yeah. I almost. Well, I did get into it with a homeless guy, and we almost had to throw down. He was much, much older than me and was threatening to pee on my Prius. Because
he didn't start off threatening to pee on your Prius.
No, I didn't.
Because it's not like he was like, okay. He's like, no, most people try to wash your window. I'm gonna pee on your Prius. What will you give me for that? Give me $1.
I tell you,
$1 to pee on your Prius.
I tell you, if it's between paying somebody to wash my windshield and paying somebody not to pee on my Prius, the second is gonna get more money. The latter is definitely getting paid. No, I pulled up and he gave me one of those "I helped you back in" speeches, where you're just desperately trying to ignore the homeless person as they wave behind your car as you're trying to parallel park. And so I got out of the car and he's just like, "Hey," he's just standing there waiting for me to pay him for his valet service.
Right.
I held this spot for you. And so anyway, he was very threatening, and we said, we don't carry cash. You want some leftovers? We have some leftovers in the car. And we said, do you want some food? And he said, what is it? And we said, it's leftovers from breakfast. Leftovers? I'm like, we're not gonna buy you fresh food. We didn't bring lunch for you. We don't have your food. We have our food. And so he was really upset.
You could have made him something.
You're right. I should have gone in and made him a sandwich. Just like, you want a Sammy? What do you like? Huh?
He's like, I don't like crusts.
Exactly. Man, go in and cut that off. So
better cut it diagonally.
I ain't eating it. So he just threatened the car. He said, you like your car? And I was like, of course I like my car. The other thing
he's like, yes, let me tell you about a Prius.
Exactly.
Because it'd be a shame.
Well, I told him about the gas mileage. I was like, here's the interesting thing about the Prius. You get better gas mileage in the city than on the highway. He didn't seem interested in that so much.
Let me show you the features. He's like kicking the tires.
Well,
what's it going to take to get you into this Prius today?
Exactly. You like your car? You're going to love my car, I'll tell you that. He then asked me if I liked war. And I finally figured out what he was trying to get across. He's like, do you like war? No, I don't. And he was kind of frustrated by that. And he's like, I'm a Vietnam veteran. And I was like, oh, okay. He's trying to ask me if I like soldiers. If I appreciate people. So I thanked him for his service. I was just like, oh, thank you for serving. And he's like, do you like war?
I don't think anybody really likes war.
I know. I'm like, who says yes to that? Oh, I love war, man. More war, right? Right?
Are we talking about the card game? Because
that's
good
fun.
for.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. We should have. And Dustin pointed out that he was probably talking about the band.
He's like, I got one of their albums. You want to buy it?
Do you like war? Do you have a turntable? I've been looking for somebody to answer yes to both of those.
He's like one of those late night Time Life things. Do you like war? How about peaches and herb?
Back in 1972, war was all over.
So I was serving.
So anyway, we started to walk off, and he got kind of mouthy, so I went back, and he's standing right behind the car. I stepped off the curb. And I don't usually get in people's faces. I don't like conflict, don't like confrontation. But this guy was really bugging me, so I walked right up to him. When I did, he put the fists up like this. Like
really?
One fist over the head, one fist in front of the face. Just was ready to punch it out.
It was like old-timey punching.
Exactly. And he was kind of staggery and was not so, lucid. And so I'm like, I really don't want to punch this guy. Mostly I don't want to touch this guy.
Well, yeah.
And so I was just like, look, we're not going to do this. Just forget about it. And I started to walk away. And then he called Jenny a bitch. And so I had to go back. And so I'm like right in his face. He puts the fists up again. And I'm yelling at him. And some lady across the block, she's like, there's a cop on the corner. And so the cop...
Where was she from?
She was from across the street.
There's a cop on the corner.
Exactly. There's a cop on the corner. You might think about calling him for once. The cop pulled around because, I don't know, somebody might have called him or whatever, but the cop pulled around to where we were. Before the cop gets there, I decide that I'm going to walk away because I'm done. The cop's going to take care of it. And the guy yells at my back, you know what you can do? I'm like, what was that? And then something clattered to the ground behind me, like a plastic clattering. And I was like, what was that? I turn around and he goes, you can add it up on that. I looked down. He had thrown a calculator at me.
You can add it up on that.
And when I turned around and looked at it, he pointed and he went, that's a calculator!
What does that even mean?
What I thought had happened was that he, like, somehow he had found this calculator earlier in the day, and he was excited. He's like, finally, I can keep all my numbers in order. I can really legitimize this. I have Quicken. I can work on this.
I have
And
so
then,
much writing
like,
to do.
halfway through the day, he realized that this wasn't working out for him. So he just came up with a really good line. He's like, now I gotta start a fight with somebody just so I can use this.
Add it up on that. I couldn't do anything with it. I tell you, it didn't have any functions that I needed. Add it up.
Make a graph. This is a graphing calculator. This is a TA286.
Exactly. But for the rest of the day,
Turn it upside down, it can spell boob.
Look at that. Look at that. Go ahead, type it in. 58008. Do it. See what happens. 58008.